Good evening. It's another live week here. But where's Daryl? I don't know. Where is he?
Hey guys,
Hey, we
There he is.
found you, Daryl.
I'm back. How you doing?
Hey, Daryl, how you doing? You okay?
Where is he? Good to
I am
see you.
here.
Hey,
So-
we
there he is.
found you, Daryl. So where have you been? Have you been hiding away in the deepest, darkest place in the world?
Kind of, yeah. So, see, during my mother passed away about a year and a half ago, and she wanted to have her ashes sprinkled in a particular lake up in the Adirondack Mountains, which is in New York State. So we were supposed to do it this following summer after she passed. She passed around Christmas time, and so we weren't able to do it because of COVID. And this was the first opportunity for us to get together, and it happened to be available for us to do it on her birthday. So we went up. Her birthday was on the Sunday where we had last weekend. So we went up to the Adirondacks. We rented a boat, and cell service does not work very good up there. So I wasn't able to have my internet where we were. So I figured it would be best to spend time with the family that day, and I'm just thankful for you guys. I really appreciate you guys being available to have the show continue. So,
And
you're welcome. We thought you might be in the mountains or somewhere. We thought you might be in the wilds.
We'd imagine you joining and go good.
I probably should have. I did watch. I just watched a few seconds where I could. But yeah, then I thought maybe I shouldn't jump in, just see what you guys get into. So
we managed to hold it together with a bit of sticky tape and glue. So
yeah, it was a good
right.
session. I think we did okay. I think it was good chat.
It's nice to have you back, and I'm glad you had a lovely time.
Yeah, we did. It was really special. We really had a good time, and it was very moving experience altogether. So yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, so we're back at it. Things are busy. I know it is for you guys as well. We got a lot of updates to bring to everybody. So first a little recap for what I missed last week. It sounds as though you have some kind of a partnership, Stephen, right? And you're doing some things. Let's just recap that just in case anybody missed it.
Yeah. So the thing is we get a lot of requests from people who are after done-for-you sites, ready-built sites. And so Robert, who is in the group, I've been mentoring him for some time, and suddenly he started getting it and going, I actually get it. And then he said to me, wouldn't it be smart if we could have some done-for-you sites? So we're putting them together at the moment. They individually, you're going to look around at anything between $1,000 up to $1,500. We're going to do a deal when in a few weeks' time when we're ready to launch with 5 sites for a special deal, and that'll be for a short amount of time for people who want to jump on board and get 5 done-for-you sites. Now, for those that when we do the launch, they say, well, I can't afford it. Well, go with Daryl's form, because you can easily use Siphon to pull the data in, and Siphon's got the amazing AI technology in it that can respin it. It's copyscape free. So is what we're doing. But I always say, live by your means when you're doing lead generation or building sites or whatever you're planning on doing in SEO. Make sure don't buy the next shiny object for the sake of it. Buy it so it benefits your business. And I say the same when we release the done-for-you sites. If it benefits your business and it saves you time and it's a good thing, then go and grab them. And that's the best advice I can give you. But I mean, I know Daryl, I won't give too much away, but Daryl was explaining to me some amazing things with Siphon coming up, and so that's made me super excited. And so so that's where we're at with it, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll do a launch.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And we were talking off air about things that we can maybe do down the road with the forum to make it more compatible with the number of characters per field and things like that from the forum, just to kind of make it all work with the templates and the templates that we have coming out. So, so great stuff. We did a video last night. You guys were both able to jump on to talk about the new Siphon AI that will be coming out. If anybody here on the call would like to sign up for the pre-sale of Siphon AI, you'll be able to get access at it before anybody else. It's go.ht/Siphon AI. That's go.ht/Siphon AI. That's just a Google form for now. We're just collecting people's interest at this point and giving a message out to those people that do sign up so that they'll get a special link to sign up before anybody else. And so if you're interested in trying out Siphon AI as a standalone product, please feel free to do that. And we'll be showing you in a few minutes after we catch up with Simon in a minute, some stuff with Siphon on the staging area. And we'll be talking about some of the things that are coming, not to regurgitate the same stuff as yesterday, but to just kind of briefly show you what's happening with it very soon here. So, all right. So I'm going to shut up and just check in with Simon. How's your week?
Yeah, good. Busy as well. Weather here in the UK is absolutely fantastic at the moment. Absolutely scorching. So I was on the beach earlier on, just taking the dogs for a walk, which was fantastic, as well as obviously working away on different projects. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of work recently on Google News. I'm going to talk a little bit like that about that in a second, and some other things. But yeah, I'm pretty good. It was obviously good to check in with you guys yesterday, talk about Siphon too. So yeah, all good.
Excellent. So who wants to go first with our presentations? Simon, do you want to go first?
I think so. I can just go through that. Hold on a second. Let me put that in the. There we go. Let me get this right. Yeah, so I've just put some slides together on Google News, and this kind of builds on some of the stuff that I've talked about before about backlinks, backlink building, the importance of that for your local business websites, just to go through a few things. And I'm also launching a new service tonight as well, so I've got something to share on that too. So a lot of you on the stream will be aware of this anyway, but just to make sure everyone's in the same place. So obviously backlinks help with our domain authority, help Google to trust us, and is one of the key ranking factors for search engine optimization. So some of the qualities of an ideal backlink, when we think about it, are it's a do follow link, so it's set up on the website that to make sure Google follows it and takes note of it. It's from a trusted website that has some authority. It indexes quickly, so people see the content and the link back to your website. It's there permanently. It's not just on maybe a homepage or a blog for a day or two. It's there longer term. And really importantly, for the stuff that we're doing on local business, it's relevant for our niche. So if you are promoting a locksmith's website, or a photographer's website, or a carpet cleaning website, or an accountant's website, or whatever, ideally you're looking for a link that is relevant for your niche or relevant for your location. Obviously, if you can get both, that's even better, but that's the kind of ideal situation. Now, getting backlinks can be pretty hard, and anybody that's done it will realize that. So you could go to other people's websites, and that would be great, been relevant and maybe even trusted, but potentially quite hard to access because if a lot of the websites that you're maybe in your niche are competitor websites, and they're not likely to want to put your link or content on their website, obviously. Secondly, you can go to blogs. There's obviously a lot of niche blogs out there. If you're in some of the local business areas that a lot of lead generation sites are in, it can be hard to match it up though. So you might not always find a locksmith's blog that you really want to be featured on, or and if they are available and they are authoritative, they might be pretty costly as well. Directories can give you links, but there's a lot of spam directories out there, and Google's fallen out of favor with those in a lot of ways, and a lot of them are no follow links as well, so that's not any good. So one of the areas that particularly in 2021 a lot of people are talking about and using for to help with backlinks is Google News. Google News Sites ticks all the boxes because, as Stephen tells us on every week and every single live stream, Stephen, Google loves Google, and
Google does love Google indeed.
Google loves Google, and Google certainly loves Google News because obviously it has a special status. So that all sounds brilliant. So all we need to do is get a load of Google News backlinks in our profile amongst other things that we've got, and that's something that can help with our ranking for SEO. So what's Google News? A lot of you might be aware, but just to kind of cover that off. So Google News is an aggregator service. It presents a flow of news articles that are taken from individual sites. These sites are called publisher sites, and they're actually reviewed and approved. They go through a special process by Google so that these sites, these domains, have an approved status. And Google takes in the content from these sites and puts it into their aggregation service, which is great. Now, the content comes from millions of sites across the world, and it comes from the largest news organizations, but also small independent sites as well. So there's, even in the UK, I think there's over 120,000 Google News sites. So there's a lot of them ranging from small to large. So that all is great. So I guess the question many of you are asking for, that all sounds brilliant, Simon. How do I get myself some Google News backlinks? There's obviously a number of different ways you can do it. You can be featured by one of the news organizations that's out there. That can be hard work. It's if you rock up to a regular news organization, they're not always necessarily keen to feature your content, particularly as a local business. You're going to have to have a particular angle, you have to be picked up by a journalist, etc. That's going to be hard. You could become a publisher yourself, and you can actually go through a process to create a website in a certain format. There's certain technical things you need to include in your Google News approval. You've got to go through a review, and then Google will sign you off and then make you an official Google News site. And that is something that can be done. I've done it. I own a number of Google News approved sites myself, and I'm building up that network, but it's certainly a hard thing to go through. The third option is to find an alternative solution, and that's something I'm talking to you about today, and essentially launching a new service. So this is the News Network service, and this allows you to submit press releases and articles that you've written, or I can provide a service that I'll write them on your behalf, and they effectively include information about your proposition or news or whatever you want to release. They include do follow backlinks, and the benefit of this is you can actually choose from a number of different niche sites. There's over 300 in the network that I'm working on. Some of the sites are involved for myself, some of them are actually built out by partners, but within the whole network there's over 300 sites and 300 categories to choose from. So if you come to me to say it would be great to feature this particular content and a link back to my article about my electrician's website, or garage doors, or drone services, or whatever your niche is, I can match that up with one of the news sites in the network. They're all 100% Google News sites and approved, and all the benefits of quick indexing and permanent placements. So I'm obviously going to take some questions, and I can go through this. I've got a bit of a launch price I'm going to talk about in just a second, but I've actually put together a white paper on this. So there's an 8-page PDF that I've got. So if you want to know a little bit more detail about Google News sites, what they are, the type of backlinks, the approach, everything else, there's a white paper. So if you go to pages.simonhogben.com/news network, and Daryl might, if we've got a short one here as well, I'll just put that up. So if you go to go.ht/gnews, you can download the white paper, and there's links to the service site. Just my quick plug, if you don't mind, on the service side of things. Let me just try and go back on Google here. So if you want to submit into the news network, you want to submit an article to one site. The price is $50, 3 is 75, I should say there, apologies, and 5 is 150. So that's the pricing. I'm doing a launch on this. So if you want to buy One submission for an article, it's $25, and I can write the articles on your behalf as well, if you want to do that and try it out. So I think it's particularly if you're wanting to rank a new website, or you've got something that's struggling to rank, particularly on inner pages, you can write an article, define which backlinks you send to which part of the site. And I've done tests on my own sites, and I've seen the Google News article go out one day and the page get indexed and rank the next day. Now, not necessarily straight to page 1, but I've seen them come in at page 2 and 3 within the day, because Google News has a special status. It's a trust. All these sites are trusted because of that. They've been individually reviewed by Google, and it's a great way for you to give some of that power and boost from a backlink from a trusted site directly to your niche website or location-based landing page. So that's the overview. I know I sort of zipped through that, but hopefully that's helpful. And obviously, if anybody has any questions, happy to kind of go into more detail. But please have a look at the white paper, because I think that's going to be very helpful, just to give you a bit more background on how the Google News sites are put together, and some of the benefits, a bit more detail there.
I love it.
That's the launch. That's the news network service. So
that's great.
I don't know if anybody has any questions about Google News. But
yeah, very well prepared. I will also sign up for that white paper myself, because I would like to brush up on, because I hear this all the time, that Google News site links are the best. And so while this is an opportunity for SEOs to get an unfair advantage, they should really look into what Simon's talking about. I have seen some of his sites. They're fantastic. The quality of these sites that he has, he's put a lot of effort in. He's a very meticulous individual anyway. So when he puts together something, he's going to do a good job. And so your links are in good hands with Simon. So go ahead, and that's my full-throated endorsement of what Simon's doing. So we appreciate you being on the channel, and we appreciate your preparation and your education that you do for our audience. And so that we're happy to have you launch it here. We really do appreciate you being a part of things. So
great, thank you for that, Daryl. That's great. I see we've got some questions coming through. So should we just put up Dave Stowers there? So backlink, what's your suggested mix of how to point the backlinks, what percentage come to naked domains, be for information? So what I'd suggest is, on a new site, I would start pointing the links back to your homepage to start with, and I would use your branded anchor text just to build that up. So whatever your website name is, start with that, and then over time I would mix it in with other types of anchor text. So you want to have some that are just, as you say, they're click here, just general, visit website, that sort of thing, to make sure that the backlink profile looks as natural as possible. And you want to mix in some long tail keywords, exact match anchor text as well. And I would point those ones to your dedicated keyword pages. So if you built out like a cornerstone page, a pillar page, they're the ones you want to point your exact match anchor text through. So if you're targeting, I don't know, North Yorkshire photographer is one that I often used to target. So you would have your anchor text for that. But if you do a Google News press release, you can have one to the home page, and you have two other links, and then do it to two location pages and build it up. I wouldn't have anything more than, say, 20% being exact match anchor texts. I would keep it fairly mixed, and a mix of your brand, a mix of click here for information, and that kind of stuff. That would be my suggestion. I mean, it's not an exact science, but I think if you do come in with 99% of your links that do follow, and then 98% of them are your target keywords, and they're all to inner pages, and you haven't got anything to the home page, I think it's going to look suspicious. So we're always looking for a natural rounded backlink profile. But start on the home page, branded text, and then build out over time. That would be my suggestion. Okay, somebody here saying they have 50 Google News sites, so that sounds good. So you'll know about some of that and some of the process. I don't know who is on an anonymous Facebook user. So it'd be great to have a chat with you about what you've got there, and maybe it might be something we can build into the network, because obviously I'm looking for working with partners. We have over 350 within the network at the moment, so drop me a line and have a chat, see if it's something that can fit with what I'm doing. So good stuff.
The other thing with backlinking, really important, don't do what my friend did. Don't go on Fiverr and buy 500,000 backlinks for your Facebook page. You know, don't go doing it. All right, everything that Google loves. Yes, Google loves Google. I say that a lot. But the thing is, when it comes to your money sites, your own domain names, it's really, really important that you build up things slowly. So I've said this before, that you set your new site up, brand new domain, build your citations first. Forget about Google and the actual GMB for the moment. Build that first. Get your citations up. Make yourself look like a proper business. Add on the GMB, and then use services like Simon's, because these news networks are ideal for boosting up, doing a press release and boosting your business up to be found. And because they're Google sites, and especially multiple Google sites, it's a big benefit to be doing that. Don't go on Fiverr and buy any old rubbishy backlinks. And I'm sure, Simon, that if someone came to you and went, I'm a photographer and I only want photographers' backlinks, you can obviously make a match up, can you?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So within the network, there's a photographer website, there's a drone website, there's a 360 technology website. So that's those sort of areas covered. There's all the standards, local businesses, HVAC, local business, locksmith, all the rest of it. There's also health, finance. There's a wide range. There's 300 categories now and still growing. It covers just about everything. The only exception is things like adult sites. That's something that Google's users not keen on. So that's not, probably I can't help you there. But most other regular niches for lead generation is something that we can help you out with. So yeah, give it a go, or come and have a chat and see if we can help you.
I will get that link back up for us, the easy link. And and that's the thing with this as well, is making sure that everything you're doing is careful as you go along. Just take your time, and build it up gradually. And like I said, niche specific networks are ideal, and this is what Simon's offering you guys, and super crazy prices. I've paid a lot more than what Simon's charging for press releases in my time. And so if you can have a plumber's press release, or a certain maybe an electrician's press release, and you go to Simon and say, right, it's a new site, and Simon will give you a friend, if you drop him an email or message in one of the groups, we'll make sure he'll see it, that you say to him, I've got a new site, what's the best way of doing this? And I know Simon knows his stuff when it comes to this, so you can also ask him the best way to build out these links for your site so your site won't get damaged. And that's something money can't buy.
Yeah, I think it's good advice there, Stephen. Definitely take it steady and really be super careful. Don't buy a million backlinks off Fiverr for a Fiverr. They do sell them that. So that's send it to your competitors if you want to buy those sites. I'm not recommending that. That's one tactic some people use. I wouldn't point it to your money site. That would be my suggestion if I was you.
That was funny, Stephen.
Okay. So thank you, Dave. Hopefully that's useful there. Yeah.
We had Dave Stowers' bald head blocking Stephen's bald head, and Stephen was like trying to get over his head to show up. That was good. I like it. Nice. So Dave, you have everything it takes to be a host on our show. So you've got the bald head. So we'd like to maybe see you on the guest line later as we open that up for you. So yeah,
I didn't realize that was a sort of prerequisite for being on this channel. I'm gonna have to do something, aren't I? No.
You're the token haired guy. You're the token guy that still has his hair. Yeah. You always got to keep one friend around. You got to keep at least one friend with hair.
You've always got to have one. Very good.
Thing is, the secret is, right, that's actually a wig. and Simon won't
Oh
let
yeah,
on.
okay, yeah, that's
If you
it.
put your hand on your head and do that, your wig moves. You see,
On the
so.
season
Yeah,
finale,
okay.
on the
I'll be
season
careful,
finale, he's just going to take it right off. You know,
that's
so
a big reveal. Yeah, okay. We'll see what we can do. Okay.
we never have a
Awesome.
season
Okay.
finale. It's every single episode is another day. So awesome, Terry. Thanks for
look,
enjoying
Terry,
our weird humor.
Yeah, it's always fun. See, if I was more over that way, Terry, I'll be peering over your head as well.
Oh man, he always got to be in the. Steven's always got to be in the spotlight. You can tell.
I don't mean to be, but I just noticed that I just had to stand up like that and peer over.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I guess very good, Simon. Nicely presented, and we'll go ahead and flash that as we summarize everything. We will be having another opportunity for you to score a domain today. Let me flash it on the screen. What's up for grabs at near the end of the hour? We'll go ahead and give you a chance to win one of these domains free of charge. You have to pay for renewals, but you grab from my collection of domains. Remodelingquote.net, fairprices.com with a different spelling, bestdiscjockeys.com, and bidsdirectory.com. So some really cool domains that you can maybe do something with. And you'll have a chance to win those at the top of the hour. So, Steve, you said you have some really cool stuff to talk about. Do you have some time?
Yes, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I will quickly share my screen and make sure I pick the right screen. Otherwise, we'll see hundreds of us all of a sudden. And hopefully it'll add itself in a moment. There we go. So for those that have Magic Page plugin and those that aren't aware of it, Magic Page plugin, what it does, it builds mass pages. So you build your website out, you add Magic Page plugin in, you build a single page with what's called X fields in it, and instantly you can build out tons and tons of local pages with keywords in it, and you can spin the text to make them unique. So if you've got a location, let's say London, and you want all the surrounding towns, then you can instantly build out 50, 60, 500 pages if you wanted. We always recommend no more than a couple of hundred at a time. And this is where then you got all the local pages and you get the link juice locally, but you also want to drive some other traffic to these pages. And that's where Simon's product comes into it, where you do a press release, maybe with a particular location name in that you want to boost. But the main thing that I keep getting asked time and time again is about minifying the footprint on a website. And this sort of goes in a way for other plugins as well that you may use. And in Magic Page plugin under settings, you've got the minify footprint button. And what that's basically doing is hiding the Magic Page plugin itself. So imagine that, let's say 1,000 people built a website with this plugin, and you don't minify that. Then when Google looks at these sites, it goes, well, that site's got Magic Page plugin, that site's got Magic Page plugin, so is that one. And the next minute, Google can penalize you thinking that you're using some under hat SEO thing. So it's really important, no matter what product you use, if it's got the option to minify the footprint, minify it to hide that plugin away. Also, the URL structure in this demo here, I haven't changed it, but you also change the URL structure. For an example, you could put local or something like that in there and set it up that way. So it really comes down to understanding that. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on, and I know Clint's posted a thing up in the chat, is Twilio. People who use Lead Simplify, or generally speaking, anybody who uses Twilio, this is an ongoing thing now because of Indian call centers and people overseas trying to scam people. The situation now has become with Twilio that they want you to verify a number of things to make sure you're not going to scam people. You're not going to do things you shouldn't. So when it comes to Twilio and your account's got banned for whatever reason, what you need to be doing is you create a page about your business. So if you haven't got a domain name for your business, let's say your lead generation, and you're going to do stevesleadgeneration.com, then it's really important that you have a page on there with your terms and conditions on the site. And those terms and conditions will basically set out to say that I won't spam you. If you contact me, I'll remove you from my services, and sort of questions generally like that. And the reason for it is Twilio wants these in place so that customers, when they sign up with a form to join your lead generation business, or even your own personal website, or where you're using a Twilio number, they want to make sure that those customers have a way of opting out. And unfortunately, because of scams, Twilio now are locking down heavily, and it's not their fault that they're having to do this. The last thing you want to do is purchase a phone number from Twilio, and that phone number ends up being one of these numbers that someone has scammed on. You start getting calls, people report you, you get blamed because you now own that phone number. That's the last thing you want to do with Twilio. So, and also, nothing I will say, if you've got an account and like Clint struggled for 30 days, if you reach out to me there is a small fee involved now for me to take the time out to be able to do it, but I can help people sort this out. And Clint he put in my group a comment saying, I've been struggling for 30 days. And he said, thanks to Steve Brocklehurst, I had it fixed within 24 hours. And that's a general thing. I've helped probably about 9 or 10 people now with Twilio issues of how to resolve the terms and conditions and bits like that. So those that have Lead Simplify, and for those that don't know what Lead Simplify is, that's a call center software of Mike Martin's. It handles all your calls. It has web forms. It's an amazing piece of software to automatically handle all your calls. It really is great. And it even finds prospects for you. And so in there, there's an option for a form for your customers to sign up on. There's terms and conditions in there. You can have them in there. But ultimately, you take a copy of that form, you put it on a page, and you put terms and conditions visible on that page for Twilio to go and look at. And once Twilio are happy, they unlock your account instantly. And like I said, I mean, at the very start of the chat, I know that Clint went, here he is. He said, hey, there he is, yay. And Clint was the one that I kindly helped and got back up and running after it. It looks like he pulled his hair out in that photo. So, it's very much nowadays, and a lot of these call center companies that give you phone numbers are going to be doing exactly the same to stop scam calling, because to get a phone number, for Twitter to get phone numbers in the UK, they've got to go through Ofcom. All Ofcom needs to do is turn around and say, your phone numbers are scamming people. We're not selling you numbers anymore. And that's Twilio's business in the UK gone out the window. So this is why they're really toughening down. And I think over the coming months, it might even get even more tougher, where you might have to upload ID and other stuff in the future with them to prove you are who you are. It's a sad fact, but it's that, or people get scammed thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars. And that's the last thing we want at the moment. So they're the two things now. Just remember, minify your site when you're building it and using plugins to hide. And there's actually a plugin available to hide your plugins if you search. Hide your other plugins from Google in case people are using lots of them. And then Twilio, terms and conditions, and a website which they can go and see for people who can sign up through.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Well, yeah, I agree. I've had Twilio numbers for a long time, and I get calls like on some of these lines that come in and just for the total wrong business all the time. And sometimes you wonder if it's phishing, if it's like somebody, using that number somehow to do some kind of a scam or something, and they come back to me. I'm not sure about that, but I can see why they're clamping down on it, because there is a lot of scams, and it has AI.
Daryl, I'll tell you a story. This links to that. So a couple of months ago, I had one of my Twilio numbers, and I was getting some calls from people asking about property or something. It sounded like it was connected to some property sale. And eventually, I got a guy call me through and said, "Oh, this is my number, and we were hoping to get it back and all this kind of stuff." I said, "Oh well, look, I'm happy. I can release it. So I'm not really using it, so it's not a problem. We'll have a chat." And so he said, "Oh yeah, I'll let's book a meeting later on, and we will go on a Zoom call. Here's the Zoom link, and I'll see you in a couple of hours." And I went on the Zoom call, and it's like some sort of cryptocurrency webinar with like 200 people on, just trying to obviously draw you into some sales funnel that they were offering. And I don't know what sort of tactic that was, but it was just absolutely bizarre. So I think there are people using just phone in Twilio numbers randomly, just trying to get you to go on bizarre Zoom calls. So that was why I had a couple.
Funny enough,
anyway.
I had something similar, but whatever platform it was, all the chat was there, so everyone could see everyone's chat. So all I did was I spammed their chat with a website address, and I quickly set up a new domain name with a email list on there saying, "Enter your email address here to win cryptocurrency." Right, and then I kept putting up the link saying, "Hey, this is awesome." Eventually, they kicked me out the Zoom call, but I had about 50 sign-ups, which I then sent them to a ClickBank product. So I got my own back on them.
You scammed the scammers.
Yeah, I know. It's great. And in this day,
we're not recommending these tactics, Stephen, are we?
No,
I don't endorse any of that whatsoever.
It's just educational purposes, yeah, not recommended.
One thing I recommend with Twilio, being serious now, is when you buy a new number and you first set it up, whatever platform you're linking it to, stick an answer phone message on there and put your like a lead generation message on there. Don't give out any other phone numbers, but just let the number linger there for a couple of weeks. All right. So I always have one spare number in my Twilio numbers. I pick so when I order one, I order a spare one, and I leave it sat there, and I point it to an answer phone, and I say, "Please leave your name and number after the tone." And I see what comes in, because within 2 weeks you can tell whether it's going to be a spam line or not. If it's a spam line, you drop the number, you buy a new one. And it just means you always check one number ahead.
Yeah. Try and check it out before you buy it as well. I mean, you put it,
Problem
put it in
is,
quotes, search on Google and see if you can see anything. Just to
once you put it on your website and you start using it for any marketing and stuff, you're stuck with that number. So I think Stephen's right on that. If you can tell within the first week if it's a bunch of spam calls from an old user, or not just spam calls, but just wrong number calls. It's a good way to save yourself some money on all of those minutes.
Plus, you never know. You might get a phone number that was previously used for lead generation, let's say in plumbing, and you happen to get that number and you leave it sat there going straight to an answer phone for a couple of weeks, and you get some dodgy old dear go, "Hello, can you come around and fix my sink?" And she leaves a number, and if you know that's to do with that sort of lead generation, then build a site for that number. I have had that happen once, and so it's always worth thinking about.
Yeah, I think it was your missus that was calling me on my line. So
she's phoning up and saying, "Kick Steve off."
she's saying, "Can you come fix my sink? Or that Steven guy, he can't do anything." So anyway, yeah. So great. Good job. Thank you, Stephen. Again, at the top of the hour, we're going to try to aim for that to do the giveaway, and we'll take your calls after that. So if you have any questions to get on with us live, we'll open up the guest line and we'll do what we normally do on a Sunday. So thank you guys for being here. What I would like to do is add my screen to the stream, and you'll see the lifetime deal that we offered for our first anniversary is sold out. The deal is closed. However, until about Wednesday, we have over here 2 buttons. One, you can watch the webinar if you didn't get a chance to do that, or you can go ahead and sign up for the next lifetime deal. The next lifetime deal will take place between now and Black Friday. It'll be a secret deal, and the only way to get access to it is to sign up for here. So even if you're not going to buy right away, maybe you might have an opportunity to, we'll give you a window. We'll email you and say, look, this is the secret link, and you'll have access to get the lifetime deal after today. So just go ahead and fill that out till Wednesday if you're all interested in being offered the secret deal that'll come out between now and Black Friday. Okay. Black Friday will probably open up for another open deal for the lifetime, but the price is going to be much higher. Definitely for the agency plan, it'll be higher. The enterprise will probably be a little bit higher because we're offering you more software by then. So if you want to get in now, get it while you can by signing up for the next link. If you are looking for the link to this, obviously you just go to mass.page and it's up at the top. Or if you want, you can go to go.ht/missedout. Go.ht/missedout, and you can get access to that form if there's any problems with this link for you.
Daryl, for those that obviously we got Simon's group on, we got my group and your group. For anyone who's watching this who are not sure about what is mass.page, would you like to just, in a nutshell, sort of explain to people what they would get when you re-release the lifetime deal in the secret plan that we managed to twist your arm to do?
Yeah. So basically, we help people with building mass page websites for lead generation, for link building, for reputation management. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to use a mass page website. You can build directories with them, all kinds of stuff. Our form, we built a form that you just fill out the form and it sends the data to Magic Page plugin, which is what we talk about a whole lot here. It's one of the most powerful that we've ever seen for building mass page websites. It has schema. It has a way to build posts and pages and all of that. So if you don't have Magic Page plugin, we have the best deal here on the front of our page. Just go to mass.page, click on Buy Magic Page plugin, and then the next step is to get mass.page tools. And that's where we have all of the different tools that we have. Like we have a data set generator. We've got the form. We optimize your images. We do metadata inside your images. We host your images. All of these things so that it's compatible with all these different builders that we're working with currently. All right. So yeah, there's a walkthrough demo here on the screen here. It goes back to December. We're adding some new features and things like that. So we'll be updating a lot of these videos, but you can kind of read through the information of what it offers. And if you have any questions, go down to the bottom here, open up a chat. It'll go right to my desk and I'll respond back to you and we can have a conversation about it if you have any questions. So that's that. Thanks for asking, Stephen. The check's in the mail.
No. The cool thing about this as well, and you have to remind me which plan it is, but one of the plans has the option where you get a client form. And the cool thing about the client form is that you can send the form to your client. They fill in the form as much as they can and send it back to you. You do some tweaks, then you put a theme up with the X fields in and build your site out thanks to the client's information. It's almost like the client's building the site for you.
Yeah, so that's on the agency plan or the enterprise plan. You get the client form on there, and so even if you have VAs that you want to have fill it out, you can send it to your VA and have them fill it out the rest of the way. The enterprise also gives you some virtual accounts as well, so you could have your virtual assistants, and we also have GeoHolics login, Leads Detective login. We'll have CSV Wizard logins and the Siphon AI logins for the enterprise users as well. So that'll be all coming your way. So we keep adding that, but we've kept the price the same. So it's good to get in while we're just a year into this, so you can get the grandfathered in pricing before it starts to go up. So the other thing is, so that's the lifetime deal. The other thing is for Siphon AI. Siphon AI is the new name for Siphon. We'll have the site up, siphonai.com, and that's going to happen before July 9th. It'll include the features that we've built in from our own APIs and AI technology. So if we go in here, this is our staging server, okay? If we go in here, we can show you how this works. So you have 3 different tabs here. These 3 tabs will stay the same. This part here in the middle is going to change quite a bit this week. So I'm told within a week. I'm going to say 2 weeks, just so you guys know that it might take a little more time, just in case. But if you say I'm going to put in a, let's see, we have a domain for disc jockeys. I'm going to put in disc jockey, and I'm going to hit search, and it builds this box of questions. So what is a disc jockey? So now we're going to get content about what is a disc jockey. Okay. So now that it has all of these questions in here, I'm going to get rid of Britannica and Wikipedia, because some of these actually these are not a good question, because they're all definitions. Let's look for something that has something more meaty. How to become a disc jockey. Let's try that one. I got to clear these out here. Okay, so how to become a disc jockey. These are all web pages that have that. You look through, this is salary.com. I might get rid of that one. WikiHow, I might get rid of that one. And let's see, Broadcasting School. I'm going to get rid of that PHP page. Just I don't want broadcasting. Let's see, John Disc Jockey. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do this. I'm not going to use summarize. I'm just going to first siphon the pages. So it's going to go through these pages and find the content and bring them into these boxes that you can edit. Okay, and I'm going to show you on Google.
While Daryl's showing that, just to say, anyone who when Daryl releases siphons, you guys can get in on it. Get in early, because this is such a good tool to use as the future features are coming out. And I know Daryl's got a lot of plans for this. The price does increase because of obviously the server costs and managing it. And so, you know, I remember when you released the form in the first place, Daryl, people got in such a crazy deal at the very start.
Yeah.
You know, so this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you might want to modify your search, because the information that came back wasn't super useful. So that's you're just going to have to refine this. So I just put in some more information, mobile disc jockey for weddings, and we'll see if this comes back with anything more. This is interesting. This is a YouTube watch video thing. I wonder if it's going to take the description. This is the first time I've saw the YouTube come up. If it grabs the description, that would be really, really cool. Let's see what happens. You're watching this live, so okay. So this is all scraped directly from these websites. Okay, so you don't want to use this content, this information directly. What we're going to do with this is the summarized output phase has not been completed yet. We have it. It isn't set up on this. It's just a couple of settings we have to change. Right now, it just does a snippet, so it'll just grab a few different sentences. But what I want to do is first take you to this question right here, this sentence right here, and we're going to go into Google and put in 2 quotes. Okay, and pop this in here, and this should pull up the source of where this is. Okay, so it's digital tips. It's the only thing that came up. If you go here, look, it's digital tips 2015, digital tips 2015. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, using this website and all of the other content, it'll go ahead and it'll rephrase all of this content. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and live on the spot here show you how this works.
Steve Dimmick's got a question. It says, if we already have Siphon active in our dashboard, will we still access it there?
Yes, you will. Yeah, it will. Good question, Stephen. You'll have a different version of Siphon that will actually send the stuff to the form. That's why we want to keep it inside of Mass Page Tools. So that way, when you're happy with the content, you can go ahead and send to description bodies, and it'll populate all the description bodies. Another thing we're adding is the ability to write the headlines for each section. So we're going to interpret the meaning of each section and write a headline for you. So not only will it be rephrased, it'll have a fresh headline as well. So that can be then sent to your other places that you're doing things. So hopefully this is going to come back with that same order. We'll see here. Just paraphrasing does take some time. This is where we use the artificial intelligence. This is not using Spintax to paraphrase. This is using AI. And the other things we're looking to add this week is Spintax, apply Spintax. So your output will have Spintax already made if you want it. We may move that down to the next stage after you have the content. All right. But let's see. Now we're going to take this sentence here. So this is totally different here. This has been rewritten. And we're going to go ahead and copy. And this is where it either makes me a liar or it doesn't. We'll see. All right. So it's grabbing some no results found for this exact sentence. And it says, perhaps you're looking for this. Let's see what happens. So this is a totally different stack of articles. This is not the same. Okay. So the original on here was digital tips DJs. So let's grab another sentence here. Anywhere in here. Let's grab. Now, I would be surprised if this isn't somewhere because it's such a generic sentence, but let's just take a look. This probably will be somewhere just by chance. But let's just see. Yeah. So Facebook, LinkedIn, it's got, this is just a very broad sentence. So you're going to have some of that repeating. And then you're going to also, if there's anything that has a very specific, either, statistic or something like that, that can obviously show back when you do a check on it. Okay. Now, Copyscape sometimes will give you a duplicate content, but see, this sentence here is totally unique, doesn't have anything in Google. And it says, if you always wanted to be a radio personality, make records or CDs, and entertain your audience with your own patented brand, then this could be for you. So patented brand's a little different. I would maybe change that a little bit. But your own, unique brand or something like that. And so you'd be able to use that. But this is the whole idea is that when we add this next phase, these other outputs here, so you'll have summarize and paraphrase. When you put the two together, it's going to totally interpret it and then paraphrase it. So it's going to change this completely. And then when we add your ability after that to add Spintax, and also we're looking to see if we can do translate to another language, that gives you a whole other possibility there. So that part we haven't tested yet. The Spintax we have, we can do credits off of your account. So if your account in the dashboard has X amount of credits, then you would use against that, and it will based on how much you have, it'll change for that. This is just a business plan, so it doesn't have a lot. But when you get the regular Siphon AI, it will have Spintax credits in that as well, and you'll have so much that you can use per month. So let's see. So Siphon's got a lot of little cool things that are happening. We've got 3 developers working this week on it, and we hopefully will have something by the end of the week, if not by the end of the second week. And just wanted to show you some of the advances because it's getting cool. We had to rewrite a lot of stuff right from the ground up to get it to do what we wanted to do, because the APIs that were out there weren't doing what we wanted to do with this. So we wrote our own, and eventually those APIs will be available to others to integrate with plugins and WordPress and other places where we can rewrite your Google News sites, your posts and pages and things like that. So some really cool things coming up with that. If you want to get access to it before anybody else, just go to go.ht/siphonai. That's go.ht/siphonai, and we'll get you on that list. Okay. So we're getting close. So go ahead and put your names in if you would like to win the domain. Get your names in, first name and last. That would be great. And
we have a couple of questions that have popped in as well. From Dave. Does Siphon AI roadmap include compatibility with MPP, or is the only being offered as a standalone platform?
Yeah, so it will integrate with MPP, because you'll be able to put them right into the description bodies inside of our form. So you'll be able to just with one click, once you're happy with everything, it'll add it right to our form, and then you can output the form right into Magic Page plugin. You'll have them all as X fields. So,
and then Facebook user, this might be someone from your group, possibly Daryl. Can you describe the difference between how Siphon paraphrases content differently than other AI content programs?
I can't, because the methods and how we do it is proprietary. We are applying for a patent for it, so I cannot talk about it.
But I'll say in layman's terms, on what I've seen, I've used other products myself. And what I find with some of the AI products that are out there, they get it badly wrong, or they loop. They get confused and they loop. With Daryl's product, I've played around with it, and I found that you can create unique content that isn't found in Copyscape. And I think that's the clever part with it. With a lot of AI technology now as well, that I've been finding that it will generate content, and when it's generated, you put it in Copyscape and you still find some of it.
Yeah.
So,
we're going to get some hits. You're going to get some hits on that, but you won't get, because the thing is, this Copyscape is very, very loose, and what they call is duplicate is really a tool to help you find people that have copied paper or any kind of source material, where I don't think Google is spending as much time worried about that. As long as it is new content, has new headlines, if you take a look at the citations that are out there, not citations, when you do a snippet, a content snippet, I'm trying to do two things at once.
No, that's all right.
when you grab from somewhere else and you put it on your website, and you give a link back to it. I know
what you mean. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat's got to help me out. But you curate a. Oh my God, I'm losing it here.
It's actually giving credit back to the original source, isn't it?
Yeah. But you're taking it exactly. Like, come on, Simon knows what it is.
You just want to curating content? Or what
curating content. That's what it is.
Curate. Curating content,
Yeah, Steve D. So
I know Robert earlier on said, so interested that Google has never said or denied people could said spam links to competitors' websites that can hurt rankings. Now, I know I had a customer whose site was doing brilliantly well, and suddenly it dropped. And we did some searching, and one of the competitors was chucking all sorts of bad links at their site. Now, to counteract it, what we did was we owned 4 other domain names in that niche in the local area, which he never knew we owned. So those were all ranking and pulling in calls without a problem. And what we actually did was reported back to Google what was happening with this domain name. Now, Google's Google, So, and that's why ultimately I always say, if you can build a Google My Business web page eventually, put your link on that to your money site, and drive all the traffic to that Google site, there's a sort of a firewall between your site the backlinks you're sending to it. But yes, Robert, it can be done. People can hurt your websites, and that's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket with lead generation. You have multiple websites in a location. And that's what Mike talks about, spreading like a wave. Mike Martin saying that you make an evergreen site, you put it on one domain name in that area, you then build another evergreen site, and you keep building these sites out, and then you go outside the area slightly and add another site. So you end up with 20, let's say, plumber sites, 20 electrician sites in the future. If one goes down, you got 19 sites across different niches that were still going to support you while you then get that domain name replaced. And it does go on, unfortunately, but how much damage it does, we can never really tell. But I'm sure you can counteract it a bit with good links. Especially if you're good, solid local business, and you've built your site like a proper business, and Google's happy with that, then sometimes it may not damage it at all.
What is this here, Stephen? You have parrot impersonations?
Oh,
what conversion rate?
Keep that up for a moment, all right? Because that's when we did this. Look, all right.
Hold on.
And I was doing this. Who's a pretty boy?
Oh, you people.
That's what Robert was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
Get your names in, guys. It's top of the hour. It's your chance to win a domain name from Daryl. And every week we do this. So keep your names coming in, and let's see who's going to win this week. And then after that, as Daryl said, we're going to open up the lines where you can pop on, say hello, ask myself, Simon, or Daryl questions about the products, maybe an SEO question, maybe even something to do with your own business. It's an opportunity to pop on and get advice from us three guys that are doing this all the time.
Oh, Vivek, and let's see. So, all right, so let's go back and we'll add him in. These are the domains: remodelingquote.net, fairprices.com. So if you're building you could kind of build a cool site with that. Just bestdiscjockeys.com and bidsdirectory.com. And let's see if we can get this off for a minute so we can answer a couple more questions while we're waiting. We got Vivek. Let me see. Let me add that. Can you bring up the other question and read it to me so I can do this?
Yes, certainly. So we've got Facebook user says if you get yourself approved by StreamYard, your nice picture will show up. If you have Mass Page Enterprise, then you wouldn't need to sign up for the pre-sale of the new standalone Siphon app coming July the 9th because it already included Enterprise. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yep. All you have to do to get it once it's released and you're an enterprise user is go ahead and put in a ticket to support at mass.page, and we'll go ahead and get you a license for Siphon.
Add Harlan to the Magic Wonder Wheel. I love that. The Wonder Wheel of Fortune.
We've got David Tullock there as well. I think you might have missed that one.
I'll give him a mention there.
Tullock, you said?
Yeah.
Tullock. All right. Who's going to win a domain? Let's see.
So just make sure, guys, if your name's not in, get your name in right now. We'll give it. Should we let it go? Let the wheel go around once, and then we'll spin it.
Yeah, Steve Dimmick said, are there any considerations for agency users for Siphon? Not really. No, we can't really afford to do that because we do have APIs involved that we've created that have an ongoing cost for the hosting and everything. And we have a lot of agency members. And we've made it very clear from the beginning that you have to be enterprise to get all the goodies for other software. So unfortunately, Steve, I can't do that. But see me after. Go ahead and message me, and I'll give you whatever promo code that I have available to you, and I'll give that to you. Okay. But just in general, we don't give it away to agency members. Okay. All right. I guess this is it. It is time.
Yeah.
Simon, do you want to tell us to spin?
Okay, I can do it. Good luck, everyone.
Hold
on, Steve. You're getting in there. Hold on.
Michael Norris.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Michael Norris. I got to misspell, but it's good enough.
Just in time, Michael.
Yeah,
that was a close one. That one, yeah. Okay, so look, good luck, everyone. 3, 2, 1, go.
Da, 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 da. Is he going to?
it's Walter.
Walter.
Yay!
Well done, Walter. Brilliant.
Walter, congratulations. The highest rated 2 minutes on a Sunday. Yes, indeed. We have 18 people watching live right now on all the different channels. And so, yeah, very, very happy about that. Thank you, Don, for that. And got Steve Stowers rooting everybody on. And congrats from our Facebook user. So, Walter, we will show you the domains again so you can pick. We have to take the congratulations down. All right. So you got remodeling quote A, fair prices B, and that's FARE. In case you're driving and you can't look at the screen. You got C, bestdiscjockeys.com, and you got D, bidsdirectory.com. The big question is, which one are you in love with tonight and you want to add to your domain collection?
I think there's some great domain names there. You think bids directory, how easy is that to put together a decent directory?
Yeah, have people bid for their placement. Yeah. The higher up you are, the more you bid,
Yeah.
So, yep.
Let's see if we're going to get a response back tonight. In the meantime, do we want to share the link for people to join us while we're waiting to find out?
Sure, I think
which one he would like.
Yep. So if you want to join us, go to go.ht/guest. If you guys want to put it inside your networks, we'll go ahead and put in go.ht/guest into the chat. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll add it to our Facebook group because that's always separate.
I'm just doing myself as well for mine. It was an exciting moment when we're all copy and pasting and not saying much.
Yeah,
silence is golden.
He says Walter says D. He wants D.
D.
So yeah, so he wants bids directory. I think he liked our idea for that one. So D is bids directory, and we'll go ahead and we'll remove the artwork here. So you got it, Walter. Just go ahead and message me, and we'll go ahead and get you hooked up with that domain, and it'll be that easy. So we'll go ahead and remove that. We're all here. So we've got 3 people on the screen. Why don't you be the 4th one? Just go to go.ht/guest, and we'll bring you right on here, and you can ask questions. You can do everything but pretty much punch us in the face, and we'd love to see you tonight. So come on up here.
Yeah, just say hello. You don't have to have a specially prepared question. I think just come along, have a chat. Everyone's welcome, but yeah, don't punch Daryl in the face. No.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I gotta keep this looking.
Yeah, don't want to damage that. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but anyway.
I was going to say, Clint, if you're still watching, pop in and say hello. It'd be useful to know from you, for people watching this, how much difference in 24 hours helping you with Twilio has made help your business and what you're doing. So if you've got a moment or two, pop into go.ht/guest, pop on and say hello.
Boy, I really use this go.ht. I'll tell you folks how we do it. I use short.io. And I have the domain go.ht. I just set that up onto there as a short link, and you can make your own, bit.ly type links on your own domain. And because you own it, you can modify it. And if somebody, another link, like I have go.ht/webinar, and I update that when I have a new webinar. I just go ahead and change it out. So it's really great. It's short.io. And it's definitely something we use every week here on the show. So yeah, no affiliate link. Just go ahead and check it out.
So
All right.
we'll give them a few minutes. And I know there's always a bit of a delay with the stream. If you want to pop in, it's go.ht/guest. Come and ask us a question or just say hello. There may be a question about one of the products or something, to do with the network Simon's offering. So, pop in. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. And if not, then we get an early night. We go and put the kettle on and put our feet up.
So one more time, Simon, could you maybe open up your? I got Michael joining us here in a minute. Before we go to Michael, Michael, make sure you turn off your existing feed, and so that you'll only have us here inside a live stream. But Simon, if you could flash on your prices for your thing again, just so that people can see it. We got George coming on too, so hang in there, George. Come to you in a minute. We got Michael, then George. So this is a launch special for today. So where do they have to go in order to do that? Let me turn off the.
If you go to the white paper and download the white paper, at the end of that, there's a link to the service and all the details, so you can order directly from my website. So use that link, you get more details, and you can go through and order. If you've got any questions, I can show you my other links as well. Hold on. There's the white paper link, so that's the one to go to, but the short link will take you there anyway. And here's my contact details as well. So you can email me, Simon@SimonHogben. I've obviously got a group on digital marketing and SEO, and always happy to do an initial strategy call. If you want to have a chat, we can book a Zoom, and be good to speak in person. So simonhogben.com, 30 minutes. So that's my links.
Awesome. Thank you guys for putting that up there. We have got a bigger group here. I got George and we've got Michael. So first off, hi George or Jorge. And
how are you, my friend?
Doing well. Unmute when you're ready.
Yeah,
Mike,
I'm ready here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So what's on your mind?
How are you guys?
Good. What's on your mind?
No, nice. Watching, that great offer, and I got it. I think I was the first one to get that great lifetime offer, and I'm really impressed that you are offering. So
yeah.
It's the perfect time for people that doesn't have it already. Jump in right now.
Yeah, thank you, George. Appreciate that. Yeah. The people that signed on could almost write a book about what a deal they got.
It's like confusing because it's too much.
Yeah, it's such a big deal. So awesome. Well, that's terrific. And you were saying that that you also have experimented with Google News sites as well.
Yeah.
So have you found them to be very effective?
Yes, they are effective. It's not the only thing that you need to do. You need to do, other stuff, of course. But it's good. Of course, it's good because it's a very good backlink. I have like 50 Google News sites, and they work. It's a fact. They work. You need to know how to use them, of course.
Okay.
It's nothing magic. There is nothing like magic out there.
Yeah. Even magic's not magic.
Yeah. You need to do something, right?
Yeah. They're always up to something there. But so awesome. If you want to hang on with us, you can. Or if you're just stopping by, that's fine too. And you've won some domains from us, right? You won a couple domains. Have you put any to use? Have you put any of them to use yet?
Well, my friend, I need to use a spreadsheet to organize myself because I have like too many projects at the same time,
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like a mess because I want to do it, but another thing comes and you know how it is. But soon, I'm going to do it soon. The domains are great, of course.
Yeah, it's good to have good domains that you can do projects with in case something shifts. When I had the whole COVID stuff happen, I lost probably 70% of my income monthly very quickly because I had a few consulting clients that had to change. And sometimes you have to go back to your tools. Like you could go back to the domains that you have as resources, or you go back to the tools that you maybe bought on JVZoo or somewhere, and you say, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to put the effort in and do things with it. And for me, it was putting the form together and experimenting with the Magic Page plugin to see what I could do with it. And that all turned this into a reality. Everything you see here on the screen today is because of a setback, having to work from home, having to make some changes in how I approach getting revenue. And so you guys never know what's going to happen when you get a setback and how you set that up to the next thing. So
yeah. And that is, it's so great when you have something that is a lifetime. Sometimes, you have several very good tools in lifetime that if you sum all the amount of, monthly cost, it will be basically impossible to pay sometimes, for some people that is, that are trying to start something. So I love the concept of lifetime, of course, with good tools and good people behind them, because if not, it doesn't worth the money, of course. But in this case, it's super great.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate that, Jorge. Michael, you're there. Hello, Michael.
Well, hello. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Just found out about you guys this week and got in on the lifetime deal with the enterprise. So this is all new to me. So
awesome.
So
well, congrats on that. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get over that learning curve and you see how quickly you can make these websites and how optimized they are, you're going to be blown away and how well this can work for you.
Well, let me ask you, because about your product, and then I had some questions about the Google News as well. But with your product, since I wanted to jump in before missing out on the opportunity, I didn't really have a lot of time to do a lot of research to see how this would work for what I do. I'm a list broker, so I sell lists and internet generated leads.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a national scope. Nobody looks for me locally. No one goes to puts in a city. Nobody says list broker near me. It's just not something people are searching for, like a plumber or a roofer or anything like that. So can you explain how this would is this just as effective if you're not some sort of local business, to be able to use it for products like I sell that kind of have a national scope of interest? There's nobody looking for me locally, but they'd look for me nationally, basically. I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, they're not looking for something locally for what I do. So can you describe how the product would be able to be used for something like that's not local?
Yeah, so what we have is inside of our system. Let me see if I can share a screen here. Hold on, see, add to screen. All right, inside of your panel here, we're using Magic Page plugin, and Magic Page plugin can be used for things other than just cities and locations. Okay, so whoops, let me just grab this. Okay, so if you're over here on the left-hand side, not only do you have the siphon tools and you have the image updating that we do. So inside the media manager, you see when you upload, here's a bunch of cats. When you click on this, it will have this metadata that's inputted in. Okay, so if you use my form and you filled out the form with your business information, or if you're building a secondary website to kind of generate leads, right? You can fill this out, and then you have the option to use these fields inside of your Magic Page plugin, because it'll be all in there as X fields. Okay, the X fields is a custom field, if you will, and you'll be able to use it. Now, if there's any information in here, you're like, oh, this don't apply to me, then you don't have to do that. But when you deal with mass pages, you're typically dealing with the variables here that we're talking about, the benefits, the summary description, and all that. But I want to draw your attention over here, just in case there's other people in the same circumstances as you. If you go to the dataset generator, and let's say you have a bunch of keywords, okay, that are related to the types of lists that you get, right? You would go ahead and you input in your keywords into here, into a spreadsheet, and then you import these in. And then I don't know if I have an XLS file. Let me see if I have one on here. But when you have let's see if I have an XLS file. Trying to think what I have is. Let me just sort by. I have so much in here. Is it XLS or is it CSV? I haven't done this in a while. Okay, either one. So let me just see if I got a CSV file. I don't mind showing. Let's see if I take this one. Are you still with us?
I'm with you. I'm watching.
Okay, so we're just going to import this in. This doesn't have enough field, but if you had like 3 or 4 fields, you would be okay. And basically, what you're doing is you're building an association between a trunk, a branch, and a leaf. Okay, and so the actual page would be here. So all of this is getting changed because we have a new tool called CSV Wizard that's going to help you to do the same kind of thing, but much higher level. But currently, this tool is free inside of your system. And so basically what you would do is the first thing is you would stick to this and it would make the trunk of the tree, and then you would have the branch of the tree. And then if you had the next field, you would have as the leaf. And then when you import these in, instead of the locations in Magic Page plugin, they wouldn't matter because what you would have is whatever your content is. So if your content is lists for salespeople in whatever niche, right? And you want to build a page just for that. And then you basically merge in all of those fields in from Magic Page from the location. It will actually be, instead of you use the field of location, right? And that would be what your keyword is for that page. So just make a whole bunch of pages and they'll associate. So the branch will be always connected to the leaves. So all of the things that are connected will be the county inside of the Magic Page plugin. And then this would be like the country. So the trunk of the tree is like the country. So I was trying to make this super simple, but I ended up making it more complicated. That's why I'm building CSV Wizard. So you can actually take this to manipulate the data set for Magic Page plugin. That's, I guess, the long story. Did I confuse you or did I help at all?
No, I'll have to rewatch this again because I'm all new to this. So
okay, yeah,
everything's foreign to me right now.
Reach out to me afterwards. I've got some videos inside of the YouTube channel that just goes over this data set generator. If you type in Magic Dataset Generator inside of Google YouTube, you probably will get that. Let me just plug that in. Here it is. It's the first thing that comes up.
All right.
And it'll demonstrate how to do it with any fields that you have. And then once you get into Magic Page plugin, I think this goes into that as well. It shows you what to do once you're inside a Magic Page plugin. We've used this Magic Dataset Generator to make individual videos for every single page. So if you go in through my videos, we show you inside of here, and you do a search, and we'll type in Vidyou, VIDYOU. Here's a webinar replay of how to add location-specific videos to the Magic Pages. And this is a video that everybody should try to watch if they get a chance, because it only has 69 views. It should have 690 views, because this is a really powerful technique that we've done on this.
Yeah, it's very easy, Daryl, because basically it's just substitute localization, that is, the function that MPP does, for, you will change it for keywords. That's all.
That's it.
You can do it in the videos or in the pages. The page instead slash Miami is going to be slash roofer or whatever is the keyword. That's all.
This is why I like George. He always simplifies things for me. I find a way to complicate things too well. So he's good at simplifying. But he's right. You could just take the data set inside a Magic Page plugin export it, and then if you're good with a spreadsheet, just change the location and put your keywords in there. I just try to build a tool, because the thing is, if you have more than 5,000 rows, it won't work in Magic Page. You got to have a smaller data set. So our thing actually splits it into multiple files, and so you don't have to worry about that on each file. So we try to make it as when we find a problem, we try to find a tool, Michael, that solves that problem, and that's what we've been doing since the beginning with this.
All right, great. Now, even though people don't typically search locally for what I do with selling lists, would it still be a good idea for SEO purposes to set up a U.S. state pages, like a list, whatever, Florida list, Texas list, etc.? Would that be a good idea for SEO purposes, or not really?
George is shaking his head. What's your advice, George?
Yeah, I will do that. If it's something national, of course, you want to have something that is, localization. It's very important for SEO. And if you can do that for state, for example, it's perfect, because basically you're going to have a national presence and good SEO for each of those states.
Okay. Yeah, Michael, you could build this on a subdomain, okay? And then just build the locations and the keywords as all landing pages, all to just be more hooks in the water for you to catch fish. So even though it isn't primarily how people search for you, you can do this as subdomains under your main domain, just to draw in traffic and to build up your inner links. As you make more popular your money site inner links, by having a lot of these other pages pointing into them, you get the same benefit as you would with SEO, because inbound inner links actually benefit from having link popularity in the sitemap, the natural sitemap.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, can I use the can I use Mass Page for my money page? Because the reason I ask is because I've heard you say in some of the videos I was listening to is that, well, you can try Mass Page on a site for 2 or 3 months, and if it's not working, then just delete the site.
Yep.
And so I was just curious, because I wouldn't want to delete my money site. So what do you mean, like, try it on a site, and if it's not working for 2 or 3 months, then just delete it? What do you mean by that? And
that's a great question. Yeah, so what I mean by that is when you're building multiple lead generation sites, just like on their own, just domains, okay? So they're not your money site. Now, you can use it with your money site just as X fields that you merge in, but you wouldn't need to do that, because you already have your what do you call it? Your site's already made, so you don't really need to do that. But the real reason why we mention the Google Love approach when it comes to a domain is because it works. If you go and you find the one that indexes and gets rankings the fastest, then double down. That's a technique we've been using for probably 11 years, and we've got websites that have created over 1 million leads, inbound leads on the forums. So this is the technique that works for me, and you especially if you're buying expired domains and branded domains and a bunch of other things, you never know what's going to make it until you actually try it. And you start building the content, and our tool helps you to build that content faster. That's the whole crux of it all.
Yeah, and you want to have like 100 roofing sites or whatever site. It's a lead generation. That is the reason you shot and you see. And if it's not working, that's all. Next. But in the case of Michael, he has already a brand and a domain, so it's perfect. He can use it. It's
Yeah, you can.
Going to add,
of course.
Sorry, Joe. I was going to add also. I just on the money side, just be a little bit careful about how many pages you put out and how quickly you put them out. So I'd be cautious about using the tool, despite the fact you can put out 3,000-4,000 pages in one go. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I think you want to have a bit of a strategy and build things up. I don't know obviously how established your site is, but you've got to be really careful about just putting too much in. If it looks too artificial, it could obviously worry Google, and it might be counterproductive. So I'd be cautious about how you do it, and certainly have a bit of a think about the strategy on that. That's the only thing I'd I'd add depending on what you want to achieve.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my next question, which is, what are some things I would want to avoid using mass page on my money site so that I don't get penalized? What are some of the things to do?
Well, a couple of things is, the couple of things is Stephen had mentioned is if you get the Magic Page plugin, to make sure you minify the plugin, which is basically to change the name of it. If you're worried about that, I don't typically do that on my sites, but I always change the slug in the settings so that it matches up with my keywords that I'm trying to go after. But there's two approaches to go after this, and you're asking some great beginner questions, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of times I forget as people kind of join into the family here of what we're doing. A lot of these questions I thought that I've already answered before, and it's like it needs to be resaid. And one of the things is to, when you build a page, okay, and it has light traffic or no traffic, you can't go with too many mass pages, okay, because they tend to, if you have all of a sudden 5,000 pages and before you had 15 all at once, it sometimes takes. It kind of isn't what you want to do. It's better to start off with a smaller number, like under 300, if you're already an established site, and then grow it out from there. And with Magic Page plugin, you can just change the mile radius, and it just grows it out to a further area, right? So, and it takes care of all the links. You don't have to redo the links, all that stuff. That's what I loved about that program. That's why we refer it all the time.
Now, for this mile radius that you're speaking of, how would that apply for a business like mine that is not local?
Yeah, what you do, it's a good question. We still talk about mile radius because when you have the data replacing the location data set, our tool actually puts in fake latitude and longitude, okay? So the reason why is because Magic Page plugin is based on locations, but we get you around that because we build it all within a 100-mile radius, right? And so when you build out a site with just keywords with the data set generator, it will go ahead, you just put in one of the keywords as the location, and then you just go ahead and set a mile radius of 10 or 20, and it'll pull up a bunch of pages with that field as the location. Instead of it being a location, it's actually a name of a keyword. And then you go ahead and you just expand it out. A few weeks later, after they're indexing, go put 5 miles on there. Additionally, another 5 and another 5, and then the site just keeps growing out with more and more pages. But instead of locations, you're talking about keywords. I would be more than happy to talk to you offline. Just message me, and we can do a quick call, and I can show you directly how that all works.
All right. Now, is there any benefit for a company like mine that isn't local? Any benefit or any negative drawback to setting up a GMB, a Google My Business, since I don't deal locally? But would there still be a benefit of me doing that, or is there a drawback to me doing that?
No drawback. It only makes your business more legitimate to have an address or service area, right? But because you're a national business, I have a lot of national businesses I've built over the years, and I always have GMBs for them. I think that a GMB actually helps your rankings if your GMB is ranking well. Typically, the sites that have good GMBs also have good rankings as well organically. So
yeah, he can use several GMBs because for each state, for example, he can have one GMB in that state. And the domain in that GMB will be, /state, Florida, whatever. But of course, it's going to help a lot because it's going to have, I don't know, how many GMBs in the same domain, in the same brand. So Google will love that domain, that brand.
Well, that sounds great, but I thought with the Google My Business GMBs that you got to have an address location, and wouldn't I have to have 50 address locations in 50 states?
No,
if I was going to do 50 states?
No, because you can have service area. Well, basically, in order for you to have the GMB, you will need an address, but then you will change the GMB to service area, and there is not any address in that service area. It's going to work for Florida, for example, or for the city where you are putting it, but it's not going to have any address.
Yeah, and there are people that can get you GMBs tied to addresses.
There's ways and means, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's ways to do it. I don't personally do that. I just do my headquarters as the main one, and I put it as an address, and then I build these landing pages for all of these cities and towns, and I get ranked 1, 2, and 3 sometimes with just my landing pages. So GMBs are great, but I think when you're looking for a business list, in fact, I might have a customer for you. Somebody was asking, Terry was saying, just what type of list is he selling? Can you answer that question for Terry?
Yeah, well, I do sell internet-generated leads. For example, it could be for insurance leads, or it could be for payday loan leads, could be for window leads. It could be any type of internet-type generated lead you're looking for. Well, check with me. I don't have access to every single vertical out there, but check me on that. And then as far as lists go, pretty much any type of list you can come up with. You want a list of traveling nurses. You want a list of people that, I don't know, that speak Spanish, Spanish speaking. You want a list of people that are homeowners. You want a list of pretty much any kind of type of list. You can say, well, I wonder if a list like this exists. Just check with me, because I'm always surprised with some of the lists people want as well. And I'll say, I don't know if that's available. Let me check. And sure enough, it is. So pretty much any type of consumer database type of list. I mean, like you can get people that have a subscription to a certain magazine or whatever. So almost any type of data list you can think of, we have access to.
Michael, out of interest, if people are trying to find you for this, is there a website that they can get in contact with you on?
Yes, they could go to stellarprospects.com.
If you send it over to one of us as well, we'll make sure it's posted up so people can get to that. And something else I was going to say to you, Michael, with GMBs, if you got clients in various cities that you're supplying lists to for a certain price, turn around to them and say, if I can send a Google My Business code to you, it won't show your address, but if I send a code to you, I'll give you a discount on a list. You'll probably find a lot of people will snap them up.
Repeat that again. Say that again one more time.
So let's say, for an example, I'm in the UK. So let's say I lived in London, but I wanted a Birmingham or Manchester address, and I've got a client who's buying from me in Manchester. I will say to them, hi, I've got a list for you, or leads, or whatever it may be. Can I offer you a discount in return for sending a Google My Business card to your address? Your address will not show up because it's going to be a service area GMB, but I need a location to receive a card. And you'll find a lot of people will go, well, yeah, if you're going to give me like $50, whatever, $100 discount, yeah, why not? And then you can send a card to their address and set up a business in that area to do with what you're doing.
That's great. That's great. And also what I'm looking forward to with using your product as well is my site is so outdated. You'll see it. It's when you go there. So I was like in the process of, all right, I gotta redesign this website and everything. And now I see that you guys have the capability of doing this with your program. And so I did have some questions on that because I do want to give this a modern look for my site. And that is, but I've been doing this for years, and you can tell that the number of years I've been doing this is how dated my site is. When you look at it, it's like, wow, this is really dated. I just set up something originally when I got started and never did anything with it afterwards. So now I'm getting serious about, well, I gotta get serious about SEO and internet marketing here. And so I wanted to find out, does this work with Cadence theme or in blocks?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Not on blocks. Works with theme, yeah.
It does work with the theme. The blocks you can do the short codes in, right, guys? But you just can't. Yeah, it should work with that.
What you're actually better doing is what I found is you can build your site in Elementor with the Cadence theme, and you'll find it'll be a lot easier to build it that way rather than use the Gutenberg blocks. To be honest, it'll save you a lot of hassle because it's literally, I mean, Elementor is copy and paste, and there's some excellent themes out there for Elementor as well. And Cadence, Cadence itself will supply you themes that will work with Elementor.
All right. So and that was the question, because I was going to ask, does it work with Cadence? But then if you had a better suggestion, and so the better suggestion is that the number one recommendation then? Is it to get Cadence with Elementor or just get Elementor by itself? What's the recommendation? Or do you have another page builder you like even better?
I like Beaver Builder, but it's not as popular. I use it with the agencies, plans and stuff. But I use Elementor all the time for my customers because there are so many add-ons to Elementor that if you want to do something really custom, Elementor is the way to go. You have so many opportunities that Cadence blocks, and Gutenberg is like, it's going to take 8 years to catch up to Elementor. So
also,
I use Cadence theme and an Elementor, and I think that's a good combination. And I think from a Magic Page plugin point of view, I think they prefer Elementor. I think that's a kind of design first sort of approach. So from a compatibility point of view, you're probably at less risk if you stick with Elementor for the time being. But Cadence as a theme behind it, I think works really well. Steve's saying Astra as well. That works too.
Astra.
I like Cadence. Yeah.
I've been using Astra. I switched over to Cadence, but Steve has done a ton of websites, so I trust what he says as well, because I have both the lifetime for Astra and a lifetime for Cadence, because I believe in both of those too.
Just to say, you don't necessarily need Elementor Pro. There are some other products out there like Element Kits that enables you to do horizontal menus, because with the standard version you can only do vertical menus. So there's other plugins that you can use if you search that are free that works with Elementor to give you the same features if you don't want to spend out. And I know Elementor Pro used to be great value. You could, at one point used to buy for unlimited sites. Now it's restricted to how many sites and how much money it is, and some people can afford it, some people can't. So if you can't afford it, look out for the free plugins that you can put in, like Element Kits, that will give you the extra features as well. And there's a ton of themes. What I have found, I bought a theme the other day, installed it, built it, and I changed the background theme I had the layout there, and I changed the background theme to Cadence, and it kept the layout and everything with it. And so I then used Cadence blocks as well in Elementor to carry on building with it.
Hey, Michael, do you mind if I put your site on for just a second? I want to show you something on here.
Yeah, they'll see how dated it is, so don't laugh.
We won't laugh. I promise. But what I want to show you is on your footer in the bottom area, right? You have all of these different leads, okay, that all could be, magic pages, right? These could all be mass page website pages. And then inside of these, sometimes I noticed you had like insurance. Let me see. You had all these states and cities in there, right? So it looks like in some circumstances, states and cities did matter.
Well, funny, I didn't even remember I did that. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, there was one in here that had a whole bunch of state names. Maybe it was something in your keywords in here. I noticed I can't find it now, but I know people that have brokerage of lists. They basically have a big chunk of all of this data coming in on a regular basis, and then they, splice it down for the customer. But if you used a VA or a virtual assistant and our tool, you could probably go after some other verticals that are outside of where you're getting your list, or you can augment where you're getting your list with other data. Let's say an insurance person wants a very specific type of customer, and you could build a website based on the keywords that they're really looking for, and build like dozens of these websites. Okay. And you could start bringing in your own completely exclusive leads for them. I don't know if your leads are exclusive or if they're from a database, but there's a lot of potential for you with our tool to multiply what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I know probably a lot of people that use your product, because I have not been generating my own leads, but it seems like with your tool that I could set up pages to generate roofing leads and window leads and plumbing leads and stuff like that I haven't even tapped into. I just been basically a broker getting lists from other people who have generated the list.
Right. Yeah. I understand that. And the thing is that, a hot lead that's exclusive gets more money than a brokerage lead that's coming from one source to another source,
Right.
So good luck to you on that. And, reach out to me if you need my help. I can point you in the direction of a video that could show you. We have some courses coming up as well with Steven, and Simon has some good SEO courses. And so you can learn from any of us or from people that we recommend, and that, could get you you can become your own advanced SEO yourself just by following some of the stuff that you can learn on some of our Sunday lives and the trainings that we do. So,
speaking of VAs, do you have like some standard operating procedures where I would just be able to get a VA up to speed? Here's what you need to do: step 1, step 2, step 3, etc.
We talk about that.
Did George put you up to that one? That's funny.
No, I just thought of that.
Yeah, no, George must have passed you a note from one screen to another. He was talking to me about the same exact thing. He was going to hire me to train his son or a VA or somebody to do the thing from start to finish. So I really think we should do that once the siphon is settled and we have that launch. I'm going to go back and I'm going to create videos from step 1, finding your keywords, all the way to the process that we use, how the form work step by step, and power tips and stuff, or what I would do, sort of like a whole course that they could take a VA through that would be able to take this off your shoulders, because you don't want to do all this all day long. You want to.
That is gold. That is gold. Pure gold, my friend.
Yeah, that would be pure gold for sure. Being able to have a VA that's working full time, being able to do this 40 hours a week for you.
You'll crush it. You'll crush it. Yeah, absolutely. If they can follow instructions and they can do it all the time, be working on this 12 hours a day, you will crush it. I know people that have hundreds of thousands of leads come in per month, over 100,000 leads, because they did that method itself. So
right. Now, in the meantime, before you release your standard operating procedures, is there somebody out there that you recommend that's been using your product that has some SOP?
I think, Steven, you don't have an SOP, but you do training. You've gotten some people from beginner to expert pretty well. So Steven, in our group here.
Yeah, I've brought in people, one of which I've mentioned. In fact, last week's video, it was almost became the Steve Appreciation Society, because I had people on the call, including Simon, that I've mentored in one way or another and given direction to. So it is very much, people can reach out to me directly. I do a free half an hour call where I sort of have a chat and find out your requirements, what direction you want to go in, if it's a suitable working relationship, and then we sort of move on from there. After that, the way I work is for 1 hour call a week on Zoom, I do $150 or $500 a month for one Zoom call a week. Along with, you can message me whenever you want in chat with that deal, and I'll always get back to you as soon as I can each day. The only reason I started charging was because I started off with helping a lot of people and found I didn't have enough hours in the day to do my own work. And so I had to unfortunately go down the route and say, look, you got to pay me for that time. It's the same with Daryl, same with Simon. With if you want SEO advice, Simon's the guy. We got Daryl as well with all the tools and bits and pieces. It's all down to how busy we get as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos too, and webinars, trainings, and things like that. But it's all piecemeal. They're all in all these different videos, and you could spend a lot of time. I think what you're looking for is the same thing. What Jorge or George was looking for is like a SOP, step by step. This is how you do it from here to there. And so I think that's overdue and something we should definitely try to make happen with some cool training. So.
Great, I appreciate that. Now, with the Cadence theme with Elementor, is there any benefit to using Cadence theme with Elementor versus just using Elementor by itself?
Yeah, I would say so. Your theme can kind of dictate, your header and footer and how much power you have in changing and making them very custom. It also can affect how many requests are in the page. So the more requests, typically the slower the page and the more convoluted it is when you put it through the different page speed insights and pingdom and GT metrics. So you want to make sure that you get the page requests down, and Cadence is pretty good with that. It's some really good features for the header and the footer, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is the guts of the pages coming from Elementor, and so it just plays nicely with it.
Yeah. Now, with since I am new to Cadence and Elementor as well, does the mass page go ahead? Does your product go ahead and create? I just pick a template, a design template, and with Cadence and Elementor, and then your product. Then I don't have to worry about how to position all these different blocks and design. It'll go ahead and automatically create the site with the content that's being put in, or how does that work exactly with your product?
Yeah, the two have to be tied together. So the template either has to be our template that has all the X fields in it, or you can take any template you want and just put the fields into it. So yeah, if you do it that way, you'll be able to use any template. You just have to put in the X fields. So we typically like the fast way, especially when we're dealing with VAs, to just show them to use it with a template. And then you can modify that template any which way you want to.
All right. Now, this template you're speaking of, this is a default template that's within your program. And then if I just choose that default template, then the design will look like that, and then it'll have the content that the mass page generated from the questions that were answered in the form. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So if you go through the over on the left side of the account, let me share my screen again. Over on the left side, it's under resources and tutorials, but it's also in the welcome kit that you have too. Or the welcome email. If you go in here, here's all the videos from start to finish, how to do it. Back when I started this back in the fall, we built out all these different videos to explain it, how to clone the form, how to send it to a client, how to use spin text, how to export the form to MPP for Magic Page plugin, how to restore a backup file. So we have that. The one thing you would want to look at is let's see, filling the form. Virtual assistants. I think it's exporting to MPP. We talk about the backup file, and it's the recipe for builders is what you're going to look for. And we have a link for that. And then you just go ahead and you follow the instructions on that. As far as gathering the content, as far as putting together your master page inside of Elementor, you can go ahead and take all the fields and put it in where you want it, or just take ours and use it as sort of a guide. And as a guide, you'll see how all this stuff interacts, because they're just all they are is X fields, and you'll go into your page, and you'll see where all that data is. Once it comes out of our form, it'll all go into this thing, and you'll be able to see it all right there, and you can move it over. So I think what we should probably do, you and I, because I'm going to confuse everybody on here with explaining it this way without actually showing it. We should just jump on a call so I can actually show it to you, and so you understand it, or get you in touch with the right video to do it. Because on a live call, it's hard to show you which video to go to because I have to kind of play it back and see it.
Gotcha. And in reference to using a VA, what is missing in here? Since you say you don't have standard operating procedures yet, what's missing in here? Would I just be able to say, here, VA, watch these videos, and this will show them everything they need to know how to do? Are there some stuff that is missing that would be in standard operating procedures that's not there in the videos you have now?
No, this goes through the whole process. Everything on here, including what's geoholics, what's leads detective, how to mask the lead X fields. There's everything is in here to actually get yourself up and running. But it needs to have more to it. Like George was saying, let's start right from the keywords. Let's find out how to pick a niche, like all of these kinds of things, and what to be thinking of, and all of that stuff. It needs like I think what he was suggesting is sort of a made for VA kind of thing, where this actually is more made for the owner of the plugin, because it addresses things that the owner of the plugin would want to know.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep.
All right, great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Now, I did have some questions, if I could ask about the Google News, if that's possible, or are we out of time?
I think you can keep it brief.
I think if you keep it brief, because we're getting close to the 2 hours.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't know how long streams do last for, but we don't want to get cut off.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it brief on this then. The special you're doing for this launch, when does that end?
I'm just going to do it this week. So it's short term.
Okay. So it ends this Friday?
Yeah. If you want to if you want to have a chat about doing something regularly or bulk, we can look. So these are sort of prices per submissions, but it depends if you're going after a lot of keywords and you have a lot of pages on your site. We can obviously have a chat about that. I'd say offer a 30-minute consultation call for a chat if you want to have a discussion. We can speak more about that.
Now, as you see, my site's dated. Should I revamp my site before I do anything with Google News?
I would.
Yes.
I would, because WordPress and our form and things like that, like you have a lot of power because you do have the enterprise plan. And the thing is regular HTML pages, which looks like your site is either older like that. A lot of times they don't perform as well with organic search as a really optimized website with WordPress. So if you get on WordPress and update the theme to Cadence and do all the things that you're aiming for, I would do that first before you start to launch your whole marketing campaign again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you need a bit of a strategy as well about which keywords are you targeting, therefore how you're going to lay out your structure, what are going to be the URLs of each page, and then after that you'd be looking at which backlinks are going to send to which pages, and obviously content, and build all of that out. So I think there's a few things you need to think through before starting to send the links into the page. Certainly things like Google News are brilliant when you've got new fresh content, because it encourages indexing very quickly, because obviously Google News sees it within a day, and then it helps the indexing process. But I think you need to go through a few steps before you kind of launch it.
Just one other tip for you, Michael. When you plan on building a new site, stick it on a spare domain name or somewhere out the way first. Build it.
Yeah.
Make sure your pages match the URLs match what you currently got. You don't get any 404 errors or 401s. And just make sure you build the site out first, and when you're happy with it and it's fully built, then clone it over to your live site. Leave your live site as it is, because it's working for the moment.
Yeah, if you have a problem, like if you don't know how to build all this stuff, message me. I found somebody that will convert your pages over to Elementor, and they'll do all of that. And then if you just show them some of my videos, they could go ahead and also put our fields into it as well. So you just get in touch with me and we'll talk off the air. I'm going to do a video about these 2 gigs on legit.com, and you can put the 2 together and just have them, watch a few of my videos and then take your stuff and build it into a template that'll work with my form.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I get sidetracked with all, with doing business, and it's like, all right, let me get over and work on my site, and just the life gets in the way. And it's like, if you've got something like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be trying to learn this. It'll take you too long, where you could be making money instead of making websites. So I always say get a VA to do it, or get somebody that does this all day long, and save yourself the headaches and go ahead and go get the next lead,
Gotcha. All right, I'll be in touch with you. I guess via your website is how I would get in touch with you.
You can do that, or just message me on Facebook. Daryl Thomas Ledyard is my name on Facebook. But if you go to the Magic Page site, once I get you in there, in the lower right corner, there's a messenger. Click on that and say hello, and I'll go ahead and we'll add you as a friend so we can talk anytime.
All right, great. And then back to the Google News, since I know we're running out of time here. Since your Google News thing ends this Friday and I need to revamp my site, I can go ahead and pay for the service. And then once my site is ready to go, then I could then use the Google News at that time.
No time limit on it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's no problem at all. You can do that. There's even other options. If you wanted to look at something that was more of a niche site, I could actually build you and host you a Google News site as well. So that's another option, depending on what you want to use these for. So if you're more focused on particular niches, it might be better to have something more kind of custom built. But it depends. Obviously, we can have a chat. It depends what you're looking for. We can see what we can do. But yeah, if you want to go ahead on sites now and then use them later on, that's fine on the submissions.
All right. And then, as far as you said, before I do anything with Google News, I need to strategize this and strategize that. What do you recommend? How would I come up with this strategy if it's all foreign to me, what you're talking about?
So I suppose all of us could answer that in one way. I mean, from an SEO perspective, it's obviously to understand your audience, your market, then do some keyword research to look at the volumes and the keywords that are involved in that. There's a sort of a flow and a process that will go through to decide what is the ideal structure of the website, and obviously the targets you're going for, the content, the backlinks, the technical setup. There's a whole range of things you'll need to go through. But I guess it starts off from a commercial objective, is what you want to achieve and who you want to drive traffic from to your website. So that's probably the first thing to start with, just be really, really clear. And then obviously everything else flows through on how we build the site, the content you need, and what links you need as well.
I think the best direction for you, Michael, is reach out to Daryl first.
Okay.
Because Daryl knows both mine and Simon's skill sets. And so where Daryl will then do a consultation with you first of all, and then he'll say, right, I recommend Simon for this, reach out to him, or I recommend Steve for this, reach out to him. And so, and it may be like Daryl may be able to look after you fully, or we hop in as well at some point. So do a consultation with Daryl first, because then he can get an idea of what you want to do in your business. And there's so much involved. We could be on here for another 2 hours talking about this.
Right, right.
And really, Daryl needs to get an idea of what direction you want to go in first, and then he can say, right, go to Simon for this or Steve for that, and then we can help you there.
And Michael, you've been very helpful to me, because as a founder of this company, there's a lot of things that I just know without knowing that I know it or thinking about it. And you coming in is reminding me, and George is trying to remind me, and Robert and different people to remind me that people have to start from zero knowledge about this whole process. And how do we get them from zero knowledge to 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5 like that? And so, you reaching out to us on this call is very helpful. And I would like to talk to you out of here off this as well, and to see if we can get some training and piece some pieces together where, it's good to hear from someone that is just starting this from totally new, because if we can help you, we can help a whole lot of business people.
Right.
to get access to what we know and what we've been doing for years. So.
Right. And not only do you have me as new, I'm sure you picked up a whole bunch of new people with your lifetime deal. So
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. So
yeah, great.
Yeah. So reach out to me, okay? Thank you so much for being on with us.
Hey, thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank you, guys.
So we have a few other people. I want to bring up Terry's comment. What happened to the paid training from months ago? We didn't do the paid training yet, so you're on my list. You're on my list. We're working on is I wanted to experiment more with 6.0, and I was having a few technical issues, and I've reported those technical issues, and I want to make sure that it's working bug free. I know 6.1 I haven't been able to mess with, but we've been having some problems with some of my students with the first 6.0 with a couple weird errors that are coming up. So I want to make sure that that it's working well and that I experiment with it, because I have some cool ideas, but I want to be able to prepare it so that way when I show it to you guys can see it properly. I don't want to have some kind of class that just blows up on me because it didn't work out. So I just need a little bit of time to do that. Give me some time. We'll get it scheduled. And I want to make sure that the issues that some of the students have been having aren't happening all the time. I don't know if it's a theme issue or it has nothing to do with this page builder, or if it's just how this page or two was made. So we have to, but it was working before in 5.8 and now it's not working. So we'll have to work that out. All right. Fair enough, he says. Good enough. And then we have this very patient person, Lily, said, Steve has said something about done-for-you sites. How do I do that?
Yeah.
So go ahead,
right.
Steve.
I'm just going to share my screen because I saw that comment, and so we'll bring this up into here and I'll show you the page. So we are releasing in the next couple of weeks the Done For You Magic page websites. They're going to have all the X fields in. They're going to be in we're looking to release initially 5 Done For You sites with 5 niches, and each time you load them they'll spin the content, and you can use Daryl's magic form to change the name, address, phone number, the web form and social media links instantly. So you just fill them in his form and boom, away you go. I will share the link as well, and so go to this page. It's dfymagicthemes.com. Pop your name in your email address in there and submit. That will then in turn put you on our list, and then when we're ready to do the early bird launch, where we're going to do a crazy deal, because each website is easily worth more than $1,000, if not $2,000 each, for that content already built for you. And so we're going to do a crazy deal for 5 sites on the launch in a couple of weeks' time. If it's something that's way out your price range, and I said this earlier, live by your means, then go with Daryl's form and use Siphon to create your content. And it takes you, it'll take you a bit long to build it, but it's maybe 2 or 3 days to get your head around all the tools that are there, but they are fantastic tools to use. I still very highly recommend Daryl's form to quickly and easily change the name, address, and phone number throughout all the pages on the Done For You themes. We've done X fields to link to that for that reason. I'll pop in the chat the link as well, and I will also make sure it's added to the groups when we finish the call.
I was just muted. Awesome. Nice. dfymagicthemes.com. The page looks really nice. Yeah. Hope you get some signups for that. We probably shouldn't waited to the end for that. I should have probably had you should have jumped that in early.
We mentioned it last week, and people see the replay, and it's if you go back and watch last week's as well, we talked about the Done For You themes, and it's the idea behind them is to be able to put a site up very quickly, and they're going to have, if I remember right, one of them I think had at least 6 service pages in the background, as well as all the front end pages and content pre-spun and built. But the only reason they're going to be a higher price point per site after the launches because of what's gone into them to build them and set them all up properly. It's taken a lot of time with content. I've got to thank Robert, for the people he's working with for me, with the content writers that we're using, and we're getting the content in there, testing it, and each time you load the site, it'll spin up a new unique version of it. So you could buy one site, plumber site, and put it up 10 times, and each time it would be a different site.
Nice.
So that's what we're working towards, and making it easy to to be able to just pop into the form your company name, address, and stuff like that, and spit it straight over to here as well.
Yeah.
And that'll change. So they're all the things we're working towards. Another quick update with Leadgenmagic.com. We've been holding back a little bit, and I've talked to Daryl about the ready done for you themes that are going to work with Daryl's form. And there's been some issues with, as we said, with 6.1 a Magic Page, and they're being ironed out. So we are now gradually going to be back on track very shortly. I know we built a theme, a generic theme, which Daryl's going to add for his members. So anyone is it for everyone who's got membership, that generic one that we built?
Yep, that's for me, for business, agency, and enterprise. So
so that's I think that's nearly there now, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yep. I've been using it. What I need to do is change around the recipe and move it over to the right server and do a new child theme for it. So I want to do a full update. I'll put it in the group about how to use the new one, and we'll get that.
And I'll make sure as well that it's added as well in the Leadgenmagic members area as well, so you guys will have access to that. The reason we bought a generic one was to just get the ball rolling quicker while we're still tweaking things with some of the other themes that we're going to build to work with the Magic form.
Boy, I'm getting tired. This has been a long one.
10 past midnight here, so we best start summing up.
Yeah, let's summarize.
People are falling off to sleep now, so
including yours truly. All right, guys.
Big apologies, by the way. I know Clint jumped in on the stream, and when I went to add him, then he disappeared. So I appreciate him popping in. I appreciate the way he had to disappear, because that session was a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Simon, for presenting such a great presentation.
Yeah, welcome. It's all good.
Thank you, Daryl.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you all for watching and watching on the replay. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also share it with anyone that could use this type of technology for getting organic traffic and leads and SEO and all of that great stuff. So until next week, we'll have another Sunday Live, but we're going to say so long. So take care. Bye, all.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.